We have a 2002 BMW 745i, which is the E65 N62 engine. And what he was having was misfires on the entire, all 8 cylinders. So basically what I did was, I told him my computer was down, which it is broke, but he took it to someone else and they replaced these holes here, the CCV valves, which is commonly a common thing for these engines to get air and cause the whole entire car to misfire. I did see that one of the ignition coils were bad, so I changed it out of number 6, which is on the driver's side, bank 2. I'm gonna show you my little setup. Alright, my little setup in here. This is why I too much don't do diagnosis, but since it was for a friend, I went on ahead and rigged it up for him. But it's the laptop that I let the kids play with that I only use for diagnosis, only because I think it only goes up to Windows 7 with this software, and it's kind of hard to find those now, but figure something out. But I have it hooked up with a VGA cord going into a little small TV and making it do whatever I need it to do. Got it hooked into the OBD. Alright, now this is what I want to show you. Basically, when these cars misfires, we have it can be a whole list of things. Air, it can be alternator, battery. The only thing you can do is diagnose it and look at each individual part, and you got to kind of go from there. Now, he took it to so-called specialists and they couldn't figure it out. Now, he kept telling me that all the banks was misfiring, which it was never doing when he had a starter put on this car. So basically, my theory is when they was taking off the starter, they was bumping the O2 sensor and kind of threw it off. But here we go. I'm gonna go into a little bit of my monitoring. As you can see, the O2 sensor, which is both of them, is activated. We have 4 O2 sensors on here. One of them is just stuck here at 123. It's just fluctuating from 123, 127. And if you can see, the car is there it is. I guess one of them did. Both the O2 sensors just shut off, which causing the misfire in the banks, which I don't understand why they couldn't figure that out, that the O2 sensors, they wanted to change all the ignition coils. I say do the O2 sensors first, and that way you can, because right now if you see they shutting off and on, you can see it's kind of high, 125, 127. This is all just sitting at idle. It should be around 115, something like that, I believe. But I'm gonna go ahead and accelerate and let you see. All right, it's gonna gradually move up as you accelerate, but I'm gonna give it more gas, and then I'm gonna let it go back down to idle, and you can see how only one popped back on, which is giving it a reading. This one is stuck at 1. That O2 sensor bad, and you can see the RPMs. I'm gonna show it to you on the digital part. RPMs is fluctuating. As soon as the RPMs go up, you know that O2 sensor then kick back on. As you see, the O2 sensor, the RPM is supposed to be at 7,500. It's at 78. It's just fluctuating. But as soon as that other O2 sensor, which it just popped back on because the car just smoothed out a little bit, but it's stuck now at 1.25. So if your car, BMW, is idling up and down, have them look at the O2 sensors. someone needs to monitor it to take a look at it. I figured this out. They had the car for 2-3 weeks, and I just rigged it up for them and told them to bring it over and I'd take a look at it. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is ignition coils. As you can see, we have cylinder 1, 2, 3 up into 8, and as you see how the ignition coils are all fluctuating. This is because they're getting more gas, and if I show you the test again, when bank 1 oxygen sensor shuts off, all these start reading in the negative. Right now it's getting more gas, so as you can see, 2 is more in the positive, and they're just fluctuating. I say first things first and change ignition coils as needed. But you do need some proper software diagnosing. I'm quite sure these specialists had it. I don't know why they didn't check to see why, because he's been complaining of the engine fluctuating and they couldn't figure it out. But this is one of the common cause misfires on BMW 7 Series. This one here is the E65 N62 engine. Do the test one more time. I'm gonna go back up to oxygen sensor, which is hold on, give me a second. All right, here we go. Now this is what they reading at. As you can see, the car is idled up pretty high. So I'm gonna go to the idle, which is, you can see it right here. Say it's supposed to be around 700. It's idled up to 800. That's because this O2 sensor is spitting more gas right now. It's stuck at 125. They all supposed to fluctuate here, but this one is stuck. But I'm gonna give you the test again, and you see what the RPMs and what the ignition coils are doing. Alright, going back down to idle, they cut off, one cut back on, car running rough. Here's the ignition coils. As you can see, when it's off, it kind of switched on me. Alright, so now bank 2 is running rough. Let's see what's up. It just did something and it didn't kick back on yet. But as you can see, in bank 2, we getting the reading of 125 and 111. This is before the Cadillac converter and after the Cadillac converter. Alright, that other O2 sensor kicked on, smoothed out, but it's always stuck at 125. To me, this is his problem.